Hey, welcome to our episode of Chad's Beer Reviews, featuring Howard from Fridays Are For You. What's going on, man?
How's it going? I'm also known as Uncle Bub from Uncle Bub's Bale Buckle Beer Reviews.
Yeah, I didn't know if your real name was public or not, because I know you through Facebook.
It don't make any difference.
Well, we got a pretty classic standard beer today. This one's imported from Britain, Boddingtons Pub Ale, smooth and creamy. And if you look really closely, it does say that it's 4.6 ABV. And it doesn't say anything else about it on the can. Well, actually, there's a really long description on the back, and it tells you about the because it's got the nitro kind of like Guinness. It's actually got the ball in it, I think, too. Yeah, yeah. And we both poured it into our Walmart mugs.
Yeah.
It takes a while for the foam to settle. It usually takes like a good 90 seconds to like 2 minutes, and I think like on camera it looks a little red, but in real life I would probably call it more of like a deep amber. Like actually, it's a really beautiful amber.
It is, but it
Almost
does look
crystal
darker.
clear.
It looks darker on the camera for sure.
Yeah, and it's got the frothy, creamy head just like Guinness or any of those other nitro beers. You want to give it a whiff?
Well, mine's been sitting for a minute, so I've kind of lost the. When I first poured it, I got a nice aroma coming off of it. I'm not really getting anything right now.
Yeah, you know how you can reset your nose is if you like smell yourself. That's what, like, if you're judge a homebrew competition, people will do that. Smell, or like they'll have like ground coffee beans or something. But yeah, I mean, I would say like this isn't like a super aromatic beer. It has like just like that British character to it.
Just
It
faintly.
smells,
I'm getting it faintly. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's also kind of, this is a ordinary bitter style, so it's like it's supposed to be like a very mild sessionable beer. It's not supposed to be like, I saw like your last beer review was Founder's Chocolate Espresso KBS. Like it's
That's
pretty much the opposite of that beer in all ways.
definitely.
I will say it does have like a kind of sweet cream, like it smells like coffee creamer, like heavy
It
whipping
has that.
cream.
Yeah, it has that little bit of tinge of sweetness to the aroma.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I wouldn't say it smells like vanilla or anything in
No,
particular. I mean, I get like maybe a little toasty malt or something, but yeah, it's just kind of like this general suggestion of slight sweetness.
right. I'd agree with that. Yeah, I go
Yeah.
with that.
Well, if you're ready, we can dig in here. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hmm.
Mm.
Now, have you had this before, or is this your first time?
I have had it. I reviewed it. Oh man, it's probably been a year ago. That's why my date says it's best by April of this year. It has
That's
on the
funny. Yeah.
side. It says freshest before sea base of can, and it's April the 20th of 2024 is when it was freshest by. However, it still has good flavor to it. It's kind of like I remember it. It's a little, to me, it's a little milder than your standard domestic beer. The carbonation is not as pronounced,
right.
And I'm assuming that's because of the draft quality in it.
Yeah, the nitro.
Where you got when you, I wish I'd saved it and poured it later, but the first when you first poured it, it's all foam, and then it just kind of gradually builds up to the head, and then I think a lot of the carbonation is taken away in that, but that doesn't deter from the flavor of it. To me, it's just not as carbonated as the typical domestic beer.
Yeah, it's anytime you have a nitro beer like this, it like makes it adds like funny. I actually wrote this on a beer review last night that I did of a nitro beer. I said like I think the nitro beers sacrifice flavor for like mouthfeel, like there's definitely like even like Guinness, like the most famous nitro beer, it's not like a super punch you in the face with flavor type of beer. And I would say like this one is like probably even milder than Guinness. Like at least Guinness has like that kind of burnt kind of coffee kind of taste to it, and this one is just like all England, you know.
It to me, it's very, very mild. Now I'm getting a little bit of bitterness in the finish, but the beer itself it seems very mild to me.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, you know, the proper beer judge word for mild is delicate. It's a delicate malt base. I will say, if you dig deep down in there, there is like a little bit of fruity yeast esters kind of quality. If you've had enough British beers, like you'll recognize it. And it's also a slight bit buttery. Almost has like a kind of like buttered toast taste to it. Are you getting that at all?
Chad, I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm just a dumb old redneck here in Belleville. I don't have a sophisticated palate. I love beer. I love all different kinds of beer. And I kind of just,
I know we can tell from the wall behind you.
Yeah, I've actually reviewed all these beers, and it goes all the way around my room here. But anyway, I mean, I just I have a hard time articulating sometimes the flavors I get out of beers because some of them I don't really recognize. Now, I've seen, you know, where sometimes they'll say on the can, you know, the kind of flavors and hints you're supposed to be getting out of it. Sometimes I can detect them, and sometimes I can't. I'm just a beer lover.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny, like, because when I do beer reviews with other people, like, I don't know if you've seen my show. My girlfriend's here a lot, and I kind of like, one of us will say something, and then the other one will pick it up because we kind of incept it into each other's heads, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, this beer is, I mean, it's deliberately mild. It's like there isn't like a whole lot to pick out here. It's I mean, it's like, it's not sweet, it's not bitter, it's not bad. Like I don't get any. There's nothing about it repulsing me. Are you getting like any off flavors or anything like that?
I am not. Well, and mine is a year out of date, but I'm not getting any kind of off-putting flavors at all. Like you said, I mean, deliberately mild. I think is what you said. I think that's correct. I mean, because it's very smooth, and this is one that you could just kick back and kill without any problem. I mean, it's just it's not going to gather in your throat. It goes down very smooth and easy. It's not outstanding, I don't think, but it's very palatable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's you know what's funny is they make the American version stronger. This is 4.6 ABV. In England, it's 3.9, I believe, maybe even 3.7 or 6.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, like it's just meant to be a session beer at a bar. It's like we're drinking this on a Saturday afternoon right now, and like this is basically the ideal time and place to drink this beer. Is like when you're at the bar, or like, you know, or just you're gonna watch football all day, you know, and like you want something with enough flavor to notice, but like not like enough to like oversaturate your palate, you know?
Right. And so this particular Boddingtons is brewed specifically for America.
Yeah, it's like a stronger formula. I remember, I don't know if you follow Simon Real Ale Guide or Real Ale Craft Beer. He's the biggest beer tuber. Him and I actually reviewed this like maybe 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15. I don't know, maybe not 15, but it was definitely more than 10 years ago. And I remember that because like his was like less than 4%. Mine was like 4.6 or whatever.
Okay.
And it's different because like he had like a fresh one and I had one probably like you that's, you know, been sitting around for a while. And just an interesting contrast of the you know, UK version versus USA version. As far as like so if I was judging this to spec, this is going to score high for the style, but like for personal preference, I'm there with you. I'm like, this is okay. It's kind of like, you know, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know if you do ratings or not, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, to me, this is like a 6.5, maybe 7.
I was thinking about the seven. I don't. I just kind of score my beers. I give them. Usually I don't have anything under a B minus, but usually
Right.
I'll score them from. I would score this one probably a B plus, B to B plus,
Hmm.
strictly for the flavor of it. Because it's not outstanding, but it's not terrible either. It's very drinkable. It's a good beer. It's
Yeah.
not a great beer, but it is a good beer, I think.
Yeah. It's one you could just throw back one right after
Yeah,
the other.
right.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're in agreement. So yeah, I'm probably gonna say I don't know. I feel like 7 is generous, but I feel like 6.5 is like kind of stingy. So I don't know. I'll probably go like 6.5. It's definitely a thumbs up. It's just not a jump for joy beer, you
Right.
know.
I agree
And I
with
still
that.
have 3 more in the fridge.
Well,
We're
this is my
actually
last one.
well, you know what we're gonna do? I have this German Oktoberfest right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna blend this with the Oktoberfest for Boddingtoberfest.
You know what? I have an Oktoberfest. It may not be the same one you have, but I've got one in my fridge right here.
Mhm.
I can do the same thing. It'll
Yeah, I
be the
got the
same.
I got the 𝗕𝗗𝓗𝓗.
Oh, okay. I always called it Anger because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
I don't either. I just guess, you know.
Anger. Supposedly I'm supposed to have German roots.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I don't really know that for sure, but I can't pronounce German worth a crap.
Yeah, you know what's funny is English is actually derivative of German. Everybody thinks it's like Latin, like Spanish and Italian and all that. But anyway, that's a subject for another sermon. So thanks again to Howard, aka Uncle Bub, for doing this review with me. And we're gonna do a podcast. So check that out. I'm sure there's links up here, down there, wherever. And I will see you for the podcast in a minute. So cheers
Hey,
again.
enjoyed it.
Yep, I'll see you in a minute. Bye.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.